Hey guys, we're going to start up in about 2 minutes. Just in case you guys didn't read the post, the only thing you need for this class is a bag. We'll be back. Alright guys, so we've got 2 o'clock. A couple things we need to quick run through. First off, introduction for me. My name is Rich Stauffer. I'm a FSI at CFB Edmonton. Have been for the last 9 or so years. We are about to do a forest prep class. It's going to be very similar to the one I did, I think probably about a month or so ago. We're going to be using the bag here. So I've got not just my backpack, weighs about 45 pounds. You can lift a little bit heavier, a little bit lighter, depending on what you happen to have around, how much your bag actually weighs, and fitness level. So depending on what what your fitness level, how you find the circuit, you might need to add a little bit of time. We're mostly going to be using timings for this, less so reps. But you can feel free to add some time or take some time away, depending on how heavy your load is relative to your fitness level. Okay, so another thing to pay attention to is just make sure you have some water nearby. I got my water bottle right over there. So if you see me disappear into that edge of the screen, that's where I'm going. Another thing is I want you guys to, if you want to play your own music, once again, I'm not going to have me jumping around and sweating and all that kind of thing, breathing hard, competing with the music. I want to make sure you guys hear what I have to say when I have the opportunity to say it in between deep breaths. So again, feel free to play your own music. Next up is this little speech I got to read you. So in response to COVID-19, PSP is offering virtual fitness to Canadian Armed Forces members. By using social media platforms, the virtual fitness classes tailored to Canadian Armed Forces personnel become accessible to all. Participants who are not Canadian Armed Forces personnel recognize and acknowledge that their age, health status, and physical fitness level are unknown, and it is entirely up to each individual to assess their ability to participate in the class. Since it is preferable to consult your physician before beginning any exercise program, we invite all participants who are not Canadian Armed Forces members to consult the Get Active questionnaire of the Canadian Society for Exercise Physiology and its reference document. If you experience any pain or difficulty during the exercise presented in this video, it is recommended you stop and consult your health care provider. If any CAF member sustains an injury during this video, please remember to fill out a CF98. So that gets my speech out of the way. All right, so a quick little breakdown of what the class is going to be is we're going to do a quick little warm-up, kind of general warm-up stuff. Then we're going to get into a little bit of practice for the 20-meter rushes, a little bit of a circuit, 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Then we're going to do some sandbag lift practice. That's going to entail some shuffling back and forth and some lifting of our heavy bag here. Pardon me. Then we're going to do some 20-meter intermittent loaded shuttles. There's going to be no rest during that one, but it's going to be more of a moderate paced kind of thing. We're just going to try to grind through it for a full 5 minutes, which is the maximum-ish time that you're allowed on that test. Generally speaking, you won't take that long, but we're going to make sure you work a little bit. Duration for that one, so we'll make sure that one stretches out to that full 5 minutes. Then we're going to do some sandbag drag practice. It's going to be primarily focusing on what you'd have to do to keep that torso up nice and upright during the actual test, as well as hopefully burning out those legs a little bit and keeping the abs on nice and tight to transmit power from the lower body, or force tension from the lower body to the upper body where the sandbag or the ruck in our case will actually be. Okay, we're going to take roughly 2 minutes of rest between each station. A little bit of time for me to breathe after everything's all done, as well as a little bit of time for me to explain each station. It's ideally, or hopefully today, it's going to be more or less 60 minutes of work straight in a row. Maybe not 60 since I've already been talking for 5, but a little bit of time all in a row, and then we'll kind of move into a little bit of a cool down after that. Maybe 45 minutes of work once I get this blah 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 done, and we get a little bit of cool down work and all that good stuff in there. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to engage that world's greatest stretch. Just kind of the term they've given it. It's a pretty good flow stretch. If you guys have done my classes, I've done it every single class. So hopefully you guys have a good idea, if you've been doing this for a little while, what kind of area of the body every stretch is supposed to be in. I'll try to talk through it as I do it the first time. Basically, we're going to go through a warm-up, then we're going to go through it again, then we're going to get into more of an active warm-up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lunge forward with that right leg forward in my case. It doesn't really matter what side you start with, but whatever side's forward, you're going to take the opposite side, you're going to squeeze your butt, say your hips being back here, you're going to push them forward, okay? Chest is relatively vertical, then you're going to look over that forward leg, just like that. Generally speaking, you want a nice exhale in there. We're getting a nice stretch to the front of the hip, as well as a little bit of rotation through the spine. We're going to take that hand up in the air, little bit of a stretch through the lat. You can kind of, you don't have to quite keep that turn all the way over, but a little bit of rotation will help you. A little more of a stretch. Palm up towards the ceiling. Then we're going to send both hands down. We're going to hop the back leg towards the wall behind you. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the front of your back legs, right up in the hip where you were kind of feeling the other stretch, and the back of your front leg in the hamstring. Then we're going to turn, look towards that forward leg, try to stack the shoulders up on top of each other, just like that. Hand spins around to the outside of the foot, toes come up, shove back in a nice little hamstring stretch, or alternatively, you can do this as well for a nice stretch for the back of the leg. All right, same thing on the other side. Now my left leg's forward, right leg's back. Look over that forward leg. Little exhale there. Reach that hand up, palm towards the ceiling. Exhale there. Both hands down. Hop the back leg towards the wall behind you. Up towards the ceiling. Stack those hands on top of each other, shoulders stacked. Hand around the outside of the foot, toes come up, shove back into that hamstring stretch. All right, next up, we're gonna take the feet slightly wider and shoulder width apart. Reach down, use the elbows, push the knees apart. Nice stretch for the adductors, groin. We're gonna take the hands on top of the feet, push those hips up. Nice little hamstring stretch. Same thing. So we're looking for a stretch in the groin, adductor area. When we're like this, we're not slouching too much, shoulders are still back. We're going between, or behind the legs, pardon me, in the hamstrings when we're doing this. We're gonna roll up out of that, okay? Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna try to activate some of the muscles on the outside of the hip. So in a second, I'm gonna lay down, but just so you guys can really see what I'm doing, I'm gonna do the standing up. I'll be laying down. My hip could be in a number of different positions. I find different people feel this one differently, but as long as you guys know that kind of the goal when I'm putting my hands on my hips is to fire up some of the muscles on where my thumbs are, that's what we want to do. If you feel it more in the front, adjust to one of the other positions, okay? So what we're going to do is laying on your side. All you're going to do, I'd be laying on my left side in this case, my right hip. All I would do is lift that up, okay? If you're not feeling that in the outside of the hip, you can also alternatively bend your knee either in this position or in this position here. Again, you just either lift your whole leg up. Some people like to kind of open it up like a door, whatever works to fire up the outside of your hip. So try them all. Unless you find one that works for you right off the hop, then stick with that one. And we're just gonna do 10 reps on each side. Lay down here, just like that. We're just gonna open by squeezing the outside of the hip. Squeeze that glute. Right on top there is where you should feel it. If you feel a little bit in the lower part of the glute, that's okay. But if you feel it in the front here, that's probably not ideal. Go ahead and switch up to, say, this guy right here. For me, I feel that one more in front, so this is a better choice for sure. Okay, I wasn't counting reps, but that's probably pretty close. Just like that right there. If it helps to kind of put your thumb on your hip, that's okay too. Both sides, obviously. Good. Next thing you're gonna do, I've done this one many times before, we're just trying to fire up some of the musculature in the upper back. So we're gonna make 3 shapes. We're gonna make the Y shape, we're gonna go down, we're gonna make the T shape, then we're gonna bring the elbows in, kind of make it a W shape. And we're just gonna make that, we'll go 5 times each on this one. Just trying to fire up the muscles between the shoulder blades and the upper back. You shouldn't be shrugging too much here. You don't need to completely have your shoulders totally pinned back. We do wanna make sure the shoulder blades can move a little bit. That's totally fine. But we don't want to be shrugging up too much, otherwise you'll just be up in an upper trap, which for most people those are pretty active much of the time. Certainly muscle groups still need to train just like everything else, but as far as muscle activation goes, most people don't need too much in that area. We're trying to aim a little lower on the upper back, okay? So I'm just going to do this 5 times each side. Once again, I'm going to make this Y shape, T shape, W, Y, T, W. And just as we work through the 5 reps, make sure that as you're doing this, you're not boating too much into this. Your abs are nice and tight. And you're moving. Movement is coming primarily from the shoulder. All right. Could potentially be done a little slower. I might have rushed through it a little bit just because I was blah, as I was going. But we'll hit it another time before we get into it there. Okay, then we're going to work on a little bit of core activation stuff. First one we're going to do is from a laying position. I'm going to keep my knees bent for this one. I'm just going to tap my heel down. My shoulders are going to be off the floor. Shoulder blades can still be on the floor, but I'm just activated through the abs here. I'm just going to start by tapping a heel to the floor, nice and slow. You're not really doing the exercise if that's what you're doing. Okay, and then for the last half, I'm going to put my arms into it. If you want to go a little further out, you can. But I recognize that keeping the knees slightly bent is generally a better way to make sure you're not screwing that one up. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to head into a plank position, and we're just going to do a nice little shoulder tap. So what that's going to look like without the hips moving too much. Widen the feet as much as you have to. And we're just going to alternate tapping shoulder without those hips rocking around. This is not the exercise. All right, good. So we banged through that one time. We're going to do it again. We're going to hit that whole thing twice. So we're going to start with that world's greatest stretch, just like this. Right leg forward, left leg back. Look over that forward leg just like that. Squeeze the glute on that back leg. Hand goes up. Just like that. Nice little stretch to the lat there. Still keeping that hip stretch. Both hands down. Hop the back leg towards the wall behind you. If you want to drop that elbow down, if you need to feel a stretch, feel free to do so. Then we're going to stack the hands up on top. Just like this. Shove back in a nice little hamstring stretch. Other leg forward. Squeeze the glute. Go with that forward leg. Goes up in the air. Hips sink between the knees. On the outside of the foot. Good. Next thing is that hamstring stretch. So we're gonna start this time by reaching down, 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 all the way down. So I'm gonna get a nice adductor hip stretch going on here. Then I'm gonna push my hips up, looking between my legs. Nice stretch from the back of the legs. Already feeling my hammies starting to loosen up a little bit. One more time. Roll up out of that. Good. Okay, we need some more clamshells. So hopefully on the last set you kind of felt like, okay, straight leg position, activated my glute a little bit more, less hip, maybe the bend knee position was better. Maybe you had to have yourself up in this position, just lift the whole leg up. Again, whatever fires that up the most, does the least amount to this, that's what I want you to do. 10 reps, both sides. Same thing on the other side. Last rep. I kind of like the pause at the top there. That really helps me feel it. It helps you to slow it down on the way down. That can also be quite useful. Just so we feel that in the glutes and where we're supposed to. Okay, so we're going to go to that YTW. Y shape, and the T, and the W. One more time. All right. Okay, next up is that dead bug. So we're going to start her off just kind of in that half crunch position, tapping that heel down. Once you kind of feel those abs start to really support, you get a little further away. That's fine. And then if you want to bring your arm and leg into that, alternating opposite is just fine. Awesome. Plank with shoulder tap next. Narrow it up a little bit. But again, not so narrow that you're turning your hips. Awesome. Okay. All right, so we're going to get into a, how far? We're pretty far along, all right? We'll say we're warm. I'm sweating a little bit, so hopefully you are too. We are going to start out. We are going to do a little bit of jogging on the spot, and we're going to intermittently break that down with some a little bit of up and down type situation, okay? So all we're going to aim for is we're going to be starting out just jogging on the spot, I'll say get down. What I'm looking for when you get down is for you to just shoot those legs back, hands come up, shoot the legs forward. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. We're going to mix it up a little bit for the intervals. Only got 15 seconds of rest, so we won't mix it up too much. But we'll try to up the difficulty level if required for this one, okay? So what we're going to do to start with, we're just going to go 15 seconds of work, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, and we are going to start us up right now. Okay, so jogging on the spot, high knees if you want to, like this, and then get down. Just like that. Just get down and up as fast as you can. So that chest touch, lift the hands up. Down. Oh, pardon me, we got 15 seconds down, get down. Good job, guys. Get down. One more time, get down. Get down. I'd throw a bonus at you there. Keep it going. Finish up with the legs moving, arms moving. Good. Piece of cake, right? All right. 10 seconds of rest. This time we're going to jog, but we're going to try to throw some high knees in there, get the knees up a little higher. See how that goes. All right. Let's do it. High knees, chest up, not lean back though. Get down. Now guys, get down. 15 seconds in. Get down. Keep it up, 20 seconds left. Get down. Good job, get down. 10 seconds. Last one, get down. Jog it out. All right. Second one done. We've got 5 seconds left. Doing the same thing. 3, 2, 1, go. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. 20 seconds left. Get down. Missed the cue on that one, sorry guys. Get down. One more time. Get down. All right. 15 seconds. That's rep 3. 2 more. Nice deep breaths between rounds. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm just jogging out this time. Now for my get down, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. I'm gonna lunge, step back instead of jump back. So get down, just like that. So instead of both legs, one leg at a time. Get down. Your option if you want to do it the other way, but this way works really well. Get down. Get down. Get down. 15 seconds. Get down. Good job, guys. Get down. All right. Whew, sorry, I missed a cue there. Did an extra 5 seconds. Last round coming up. Wipe the sweat off my brow. Okay, let's do the last round. Go ahead. Get down. Once again, jump back if you want to. Lunge back like me if you want to. Get down, guys. Good job, keep it up. 3 more get downs. Get down. 2 more. Get down. Last one coming up. Get down. That's time. Good work. 2 minutes of rest. A little bit of water. Nice deep breaths. Get ready for the next one. Good job, guys. So there we go. That's a rush practice. We had probably 7 rushes per 45-second intervals. Not saying that if you can do that, you can do your rushes in 45, but the time domain is relatively similar, and we definitely got down and up about 7 times, just like the test. So that's something. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is a little sandbag lift practice. Okay, I've got my trusty bag here. Hopefully not damaging my floor too much. What this is gonna look like is I'm gonna alternate. I'm gonna do 1 minute on, 1 minute off for 5 rounds. It's gonna be 10 minutes total, okay? And I'm gonna go just nice and easy, 5 reps of each of these, okay? So what's gonna look like is I'm gonna start here on kind of this side of my bag, nice and low. I'm gonna come over, tap my hands down, just like that. So I'm gonna tap both my hands down just like I would during the sandbag lift. They gotta be on the ground, okay? So I'm gonna just touch those down. I'm gonna stand all the way up in between. You just wanna get high enough that you can move over to the other one. It's gonna be really tough to like stay down here, crab walk over, whatever. I wouldn't recommend that. But standing all the way up, especially on your lifts, potentially might use up a little bit more time if you're trying to do this thing quickly. So that's gonna be the back and forth. That's a shuttle, okay? We're doing 5 per side, so we're gonna go over here, and over here, back over here. That's kind of your 1, 2, 3 kind of thing, back and forth is 5 reps. As soon as those are done, I'm just gonna move over to my bag. Make sure if you're like my bag, you're kind of just using a backpack or a ruck. Any loose straps have been more or less secured. You don't want to be stepping on one of those, trying to lift up your sandbag. That could throw off your operation a little bit. So we're just gonna move to the sandbag. And all you're gonna do is pick it up and stand up just like this. Okay, so that's all we're doing for that one. 5 back and forth, 5 lifts, as many times as we can in a minute, and we're gonna repeat that for 5 minutes, okay? So 2-minute-ish rounds, 1 minute of work, 1 minute of rest. So because we're getting such long rests, really give her during the work period, okay? All right, I blood for a couple of moments here. We'll give myself another 25 seconds, and then we will start her up. All right, guys, 5 seconds left. We'll start shuffling back and forth. All right, guys, let's do it. 3, 4, 5. Good. Over the lifts. Squeeze your butts at the top. That's going to help to protect your back a little bit. I think you got one more. Good job. We're halfway there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't be restricted by my pace. You want to go faster or slower? Feel free to do so. You want to keep up? I do the sandbag lifts in 40 seconds. Okay, 40.6. One more. And that's time. Good work, guys. Take a breather. 1 minute. Don't be afraid to have a sip of water. But if it's hot and you're thirsty, you haven't done PT in a little while, you know, don't drink so much. Got a gall solution around your stomach. I can give you other problems than thirst. And you'll probably be thirsty after you throw all your water up, so bear that in mind. What do we got here? 30 seconds of rest. Nice deep breaths. Just gonna slow down that breathing. Talked in other classes about that box breathing. 4 seconds is kind of the goal, but you can go 2 in, hold for 2, 2 out, hold out for 2, then maybe stretch out to 3, maybe only stretch out the in and the out, the holds on the other side, maybe there, a little bit shorter, that's okay. Just try to get to that 4 seconds if you can. All right, guys, let's do it. Start with those shuffles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lifts. Halfway through. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lifts. Ooh, I got time for a couple of shuffles. Time. Good job, guys. Whew. Enough time for a couple of shuffles back and forth, but I will do, start with my lifts next time. Good thing is I got just a couple more shuffles in than the first time. That's my second round. Round 3 coming up. Nice deep breaths. Quick sip of water. Get into the next round. Right on, guys. What do we got? 20 seconds. All right, guys. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 4, 5, 5. All right, stand it up. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Next one. Good grip on that bag. One, 2, 3. That's time. Whew. Good job, guys. What do we got? 2 left? Feels like 2 left. Nice deep breaths. So you can slow that breathing into that 2 seconds in. Hold for 2. 2 seconds out. Hold that for 2. Then make it 3 seconds in. 4 seconds in. If you can get there, we've got about 20 seconds left. Just a good idea to get control of the breathing. Help you recover a little bit between. All right, just like that, we got 5 seconds left. All right, just a little harder than last interval. 2 more of these left. Let's do it. 1 done. 2 done. 3 done. 4 done. 5 done. All right. Back in those shuffles. Oops, I lost count. We'll do one more. All right. 5 more lifts. Keeping those backs flat, squeeze your butt at the top. No time for shovels this time, that's okay. One more round, and go for it on the next round. Deep breaths. Already getting just a little bit of leg burn. We'll make good use of that. One more round of lifts. Maybe I should have saved my front squats till after this. That's okay. Doesn't hurt to have a little bit of a quad burn going. A little bit of glutes. Got 20 seconds. We're working on the last round. Very important for this. We're using this for training purposes. Keep that back nice and flat. Don't worry about keeping up with me speed-wise. That's not where you are. Same thing, don't go slow just because I'm going slower. Take your time with each lift. Even with each get down, make sure that back stays relatively neutral. A little bit of movement's okay. Fold right in half at the spine, not okay. All right, let's do it. I'm already late. All right, no lifts. Tons of time. Let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get it going. Ten seconds left. Good job, guys. Whew. That was some work. 2 minutes of rest. Shake your legs out a little bit. Like mine, they're a little sore. Whew. Need a sandbag for the next one, guys. Nice deep breaths. Recover that breathing. All right. Good job, guys. Okay, so next up, super simple. Not a lot of direction here. We're gonna do a standing march, sandbag on the left shoulder, standing march, sandbag on the right shoulder. 20 seconds of each of those. In between, we're just gonna do 10 seconds, jog on the spot. Okay, just like that, okay? So the movement's gonna look like the sandbag on the shoulder. Big purpose of this, big thing that this is helpful with, is just practicing picking up that sandbag a few times, throwing it over each shoulder. Some people, this is particularly heavy load, especially if you're using the 45 pounds plus, like the test is. This test is only 44 pounds, 20 kilos. But if you got a heavier object, getting it up there is going to be a pain. So every time you lift it, you do want to make sure you do a good job of bracing your core. Squeeze your abs a little bit as you lift this thing up. We're going to make sure that you get your hips low enough that you can get your back flat. You don't want to call this good. You got to round forward with your back, scoop it up like this. Squat down as much as you need to. Ideally, the feet stay flat, but depending on, if you really can't get down there, focus on getting down there. For training purposes, if you got to put your sandbag on like a little chair or something like that, just to kind of keep you from rounding your back at the bottom, that's okay. During the PT test, you got to pass your test, maybe lifting a foot up to get down, going up with your heels off the ground, or even bending your back a little bit to get the sandbag is okay. But when we're doing this for training purposes, we want to make it as safe as possible. Kind of do what you got to do on the test. But for next time, if you practice that mobility side of things, and for the stretching side, when we're doing the fitness side of things, we lift the sandbag up, or you really take your time getting it training. You're going to do a lot better, and you're not going to do your back any favors by rounding it every single rep you pick this thing up. Okay, we're going to put a real tight back for that sandbag drag. Okay, so this one is just going to be 5 minutes straight through. We're doing, again, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, times 5, and then we'll move into the next thing. Okay, so we're going to do that right now. All I'm going to do is high knees. Abs on nice and tight. And time. Just jog it out. So 10 seconds is up. Back nice and flat. Hips back. Throw it over your shoulder. Just like that. jog on the spot. All right, let's do it. Pick it back up. Back nice and flat. Get it up there. Sandbag goes down. Jog on the spot. Good job, guys. All right, let's pick it back up. Other shoulder. Get it back nice and flat. Do that thing. For some reason, way tougher on my left side. Probably because I don't carry this stuff on this leg or on the shoulder very often. Jog it out. That was the second one done. All right, let's pick it up again. Back nice and flat. Keep that sandbag over your shoulder. Really helps as you're picking it up. Squeeze your butt. As you launch up to the top, that'll really add momentum to the bag. Make it so you don't have to drag it up with your back and arms. Back down. Excuse me. It's the middle of the third round. All right, let's get it up. Just watching myself on the video. My hips are kind of moving around a little bit with my lifts when I do that step up. Try to remedy that a little bit. Fourth round. Maybe just slow it down just a little bit. All right. Jog it. Okay, last round coming up. Whew. All right, let's do it. That's done. Whew. Jog it out. Let's pick it up. Last time on the left. And time. Finish up. Nice little recovery jog. All right, that's time. Whew, that was some work right there. All right, a little bit of rest. Maybe not quite as tough as the last ones, but still a little bit of work there for sure. Stabilizing, you're standing up on one foot. Whew. All right, okay, so next thing we're gonna do, 1 minute of work, 1 minute of rest, okay? We're gonna start out laying down, and we are going to do a glute bridge, okay? So what that's gonna look like is, the first round, we're just gonna hold the glute bridge, okay? So what that's gonna look like is you're gonna get down on your back, We're going to fire those glutes up a little bit. You're going to push your hips up. You're trying to push your hip crease as high up as you can go. If your tummy's sticking out, chances are your back is arched. It's not what we're looking for. I want those glutes to be the thing that pushes this part of your hips as far forward as possible, as opposed to your low back pushing your stomach out. My stomach will stick out just a little bit anyway, but you want to make sure that as much as you can, you're pushing the crease of your hip forward while keeping those abs on. That'll kind of keep those hips in that more or less neutral position. So we're just going to hang on to that position for 20 seconds. Shouldn't be too much hamstrings. Can the hamstrings help? For sure, but you should primarily be feeling this in your glutes and your butt. Okay, and your abs should be on for it. Then we're going to do 20 seconds of a sandbag squat. For the sandbag squat, I've done this one, I think, every single class that I've had. Sandbags can be cradled right up nice and high like this. So you can pick the thing up here, hold it here, and we're just going to do 20 seconds of squat. Squats, you can do them fast, you can do them slow. The big thing I'll try to discourage you from doing is standing at the top, breathing too much. A little bit of a bend in the knee is going to be a little bit more productive when it comes to this. So I want to make sure that we are doing that. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that sandbag, you're going to find a nice piece of open wall in your house here, and you're going to get down relatively low, sandbag up in your arms just like that right there, and we're going to hang on to that for another 20 seconds. So 20 seconds glute bridge, 20 seconds of squats, 20 seconds of the wall sit, and we're going to do this for 3 to 5 rounds, depending on how the time works out for me. I'm already behind schedule. No big surprise from anybody that's ever interacted with me or done another one of my classes, okay? So we'll just see how it goes as far as the time. But we're going to kick it off relatively quickly here, and we'll start it up. You know, let's go with that. Let's do it right now. Go ahead, guys. 20 seconds of glute bridge. This one we're just holding. Squeezing your butt hard this whole time. All right, let's take it down. Quads to the side. We're going to lift this up with a nice flat back. And we're squatting. 20 seconds of the squats. Keeping the sandbag up nice and high. Not resting at the top for too long. Over the wall. 20 seconds. Good job, guys. Whew, that's round 1. Well done. 1 minute of rest. You know what? We got time for 5. Twenty seconds left to rest. All right, so this next time we're going to do a glute bridge, and all we're going to do is, if you can, is you're just going to lift up one of those legs. You're going to straighten your knee. So if you know what I mean by that, you can just follow along, or just hold the glute bridge with the legs, or without the leg switch. We're going to start her up right now. We're going to switch. Just like that. Try not to let the hips drop as you do this. Okay? Try to keep them up. It's okay if you're not perfect. Maybe if you're not perfect, maybe what you do instead is you just shift your weight a little bit off that foot. You just try to offload a little bit, then do the same thing on the other side. All right, that's got to be 20 seconds right there. Next up is the lift. Or the squat, pardon me. Over the wall. done, guys. That wall sit, always a little tougher than I think it's going to be. Whew. Just out of the way of my glute bridge. Noticing my hips moving around my glute bridge a little bit, so I think I'm just going to keep it as a glute bridge without the leg switch, but if you feel like your hips are nice and stable on leg switch, feel free to do so. I'm just going to gradually shift my weight, shift the pressure in my foot off to one side, try to go, instead of 50-50, I'm going to go 60-40, 70-30 maybe, but I'll probably keep both my legs down without my hips. When I say move or switch your weight back and forth, I just mean pressure in the foot. Your hips shouldn't be moving too much. Already talked for too long, so let's start up that third round. All right, on to the squats. I don't know what just fell down. Hopefully nothing too important. Over the wall. Time doesn't stop. Doesn't slow down either, no matter how relative it is. Once again, now some work. One more minute of rest. We got 2 rounds left. Short little cool down after this, and that'll be it. After 2 rounds. Really only 2 more minutes of work, and we get a minute of rest between those. So we're not doing too bad. 25 seconds. Nice deep breaths. Big thing for this one is to kind of pay attention to where you're feeling this, especially that glute bridge. We're doing that so we can prime your glutes a little bit to do some work that your back might normally want to jump in on, like the wall sit might normally make your back sore. Feel it in your back primarily. If we get this glute bridge firing correctly, then we should be feeling that wall sit in your abs, in your glutes, quads, upper back, but not in the low back in a bad way. All right, let's get it going. Again, I'm just switching what side, what foot I'm putting more pressure in. I'm not going nuts with the switches. All right, squats are next. All right, sit down, wall sit. All right, well done, guys. One more rest. One more round and we're all done. If you've been following along, thanks for doing that. If you've just been watching, well, now you've got an idea for next time. "25 more seconds of rest. All right, guys. 15 seconds, then we're on the last round. If you run out of gas, feel free, if you're doing this, maybe you just do air squats, just hold the wall sit without the sandbag. Feel free to modify. All right, let's do it. Glute bridge, 20 seconds. Kind of helps to push your shoulder blades back, down and back. As opposed to just being lazy like this. Push it back. You have your hands down, up, whatever you like. Alright, let's do those squats. And the wall sit. Whew. That is that. Well done, guys. Walk around a little bit. Grab a quick sip of water. Quick sip of water. All right. So we're going to start up. Before our heart rate is dropping too much, we can still do some recovery stuff while we're standing up. You're going to give yourself 2 thumbs up, palms kind of up, just like that. Very gently. Nice subtle stretch across the front of the shoulders. All right. Next thing, 2 thumbs up just like this. I can keep my eyeballs on my right thumb this time. I'm going to follow my thumb with my eyeball. Then I'm going to look at this thumb. Follow that. Just should feel nice. A little bit of a stretch when you do it one way, and a slightly different stretch when you do it the other way. Just like any stretching, you don't want to force yourself into a position your body doesn't want to go into. Maybe you don't follow your thumb the whole way if you feel a weird kink in your neck. But we should all be able to get this done while moving our head and while not moving our head. Good. Next thing, we're going to break into that world's greatest stretch. Squeeze the glute forward, push hips forward just like that. Go with that forward leg. Nice stretch for the front of the hip here. A little bit of rotation through the spine. Back should be relatively upright. Take that hand up in the air. Exhale there. Down in front. Hop the back leg back towards the wall behind you. Exhale each time. Hand goes up. Just like that. Arm to the outside of the foot. Toes push, or your heel pushed back. Your nice little hamstring stretch. All right, same thing on the other side. Squeeze glute, push hip forward. Look over that forward leg. Into that hamstring, or into that stretch for the front of the back leg, back to the front leg. Up towards the wall, or up towards the ceiling, pardon me. And around to the outside of the foot, push back into a nice little hamstring stretch. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna try to loosen up those hips a little bit. All right, gonna go roughly 90 degrees this leg, roughly 90 in that leg. I'm gonna do a couple of different positions here. To start, just gonna lean down like this, get my hand up, just like that right there. Nice little stretch for the lat again, just like that world's greatest stretch. Then I'm gonna kind of reach forward. A little rotation through the spine. Should feel a nice little stretch in the hip here. I'm gonna prop myself up. And I'm actually gonna drop. I shouldn't collapse forward. I'm gonna try to keep my back. Push my hip. Just like that. Should feel a nice stretch where my outside of this leg is contacting the floor. A little bit up into the hip. And I do the same thing on the other side. So you start out rotation this way. Leaning forward again, not collapsing forward too much. Kind of missed that upright portion there before. All right. Next up, we're going to super simply just get into that groin a little bit by pushing the elbows down. Using those elbows to push those knees down towards the ground. All right. We're going to go into kind of like a classic quad stretch. Just like that right there. If your hamstrings cramping up on this one, stop doing the stretch.
Burn calories.
We'll just tell that to shut up.
You've completed 30 minutes. Heart rate.
How embarrassing is
103
that?
beats per minute.
The watch is talking to me. All right, switch sides. All right, good. Okay, guys, that is all I've got for you today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything that didn't feel right during the class, we will have Miles on the Facebook page to answer your questions. So once again, I've been Rich. Thanks for coming out and working hard and trying this stuff out. We will see you next time.